Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Rina the Wolf, and before we jump right into this video, you have to know that I kept changing my mind about this video. First I wanted to do it, then I realized September Mental Health Awareness Month was over, thanks to all the My Creator Life video series. Then I wanted to do it because why would we raise awareness only for 1 month about mental health? Mental health is very important, and it's putting it mildly. Then I was like, I don't want to be the person who keeps whining about their mental health. But then today something happened that made me realize I am not okay mentally and emotionally. And the reason why I decided that I would still shoot this video is that right now I feel extremely vulnerable, and maybe and hopefully you might be able to relate to this, to be vulnerable. And there is like a 92% probability that I would cry in this video. So during the past few weeks, I tried to do my best to get better. Like, I stepped back on my self-care journey. I started my diet. I started taking pills for my pre-diabetes, things like that. I just tried to feel less controlled by my emotions. Truth is, I just swept all my feelings, all my frustration, all my disappointment under the rug. And yes, I did realize and notice in the past few weeks that I am just more exhausted and more frustrated than I usually am. And I know in the past few months a lot of things happened. I get it. It's been a while since I took like a whole week off from work. Even when I did, it was not even relaxing because I was so busy with the Creator Life project, which was fine, but really exhausting. And I believe that mental health is something that we need to talk about. I know I have said it several times, but if it's your first time here, I want you to know that you are more than welcome here. This is a safe space. And it might sound cliche, but trust me, it's okay not to be okay. I was born in the very early 90s, somewhere in Central Europe. And even though I say Central Europe, the mentality of the majority of the people here is rather like, Eastern European, or at least the people of my generation and or older. Mental health was not something we talked about in my country in the 90s or in the mid 2000s when I was a teenager. Even though I'm undiagnosed, still I know I should not keep delaying this either, but I'm irresponsible. I'm pretty sure I have depression. My theory about depression is that once you get depressed, it will never completely go away. You can take pills, you can sedate yourself, And you can do your best, and who knows, maybe your life would turn for the better. And there are going to be days when you are going to feel like, yes, I'm on the top of the world and I can do everything and anything I want. And I'm a incredible person. And then maybe a couple of hours, days, weeks, months, who knows, maybe years later, out of the blue, depression is just there. The metaphor I usually use is that depression is like a cloud over my head. Sometimes it's teeny tiny, sometimes it's huge, sometimes it's dark, sometimes there's a silver lining, sometimes it's a freaking storm that doesn't want to go away and it keeps raining for days. And when I'm all wet from all the emotions and I feel like I'm drowning and the tide is about to take me in, I decide to fight and I get out of it for a little while. Depression is not a game. And unfortunately, even though when people talk about their feelings and their depression, unfortunately, there are still cases when others just say, oh, so you just want attention, huh? Nice. You're an attention whore. And sometimes it's hard to understand why somebody would be willing to talk about their depression. But let me tell you something. Talking about depression might take a lot of strength, a lot of courage, especially because of cases like this. Nobody wants to be called an attention whore. And I'm not going to say that it never happened, that someone would do something irreversible just because they would get a little attention. The thing is, we are human beings. We are tend to be social and we require love and care, sure. And yes, sometimes we don't get enough and sometimes we would just need more. And sometimes people just want to let others know that, hey, something bad might happen. I'm not feeling okay. It feels like I might lose my mind, or I would lost my will to live, or there would be one day when I would not be able to get out of the bed just because I don't feel like it. Up until this day it happens, and when someone speaks up, there's a chance that someone would call them a liar, an attention seeker, lazy, just to cause more damage. I think 1.5 years ago, maybe, I can't remember the exact time or date, I told someone how I felt. I was not feeling good. I had very dark thoughts. And this person also claimed that they were depressed. One night, they just said, do you know how you know you don't have real depression? And I was shocked and I was like, no, how? How do I know that I don't have real depression? And they said, well, I have depression and I don't talk about it. Have you ever heard me crying about it? That's the difference. You just want attention. It actually hit me like a ton of bricks. And the damage was done. I shut up. I closed up, but I was suffering. I think it's very important to keep in mind that depression has many forms and not everybody is going to talk about it. There are signs sometimes if someone would try to do the irreversible. And yes, it can be dangerous because sometimes before people do it, they seem so happy. Like, you healed, right? That's so good because you have been so sad for a very long time. And look at that smile. I miss that so much. And I just learned that the reason why they are happy, or at least they seem to be happy and carefree, is because they know that their suffering is about to be over, that they can let all this pain go and they don't have to look back. Of course, it wouldn't be a real Rina the Wolf video if I didn't bring a personal experience. When I was still a teen, I was still in high school, I knew a girl. We barely talked. We just knew each other. I mean, we went to the same pub. I knew her mom. Her mom taught me music theory and she helped me a lot with my singing back in the day. Back then, even though I knew the real signs of depression, we were not close enough, even though I heard the rumors, and maybe I should have been there, but I wasn't because I was a teen. So what happened was she went through a style change. She sold a lot of her dark stuff. When I say dark stuff, please keep in mind that this is still like the mid towards the end of the 2000s. So the whole rock, gothic, emo scene was big. So she started to sell off all her darker things. And I remember how happy her mom was because she said, like, yeah, color actually suits her. She seems to be doing better. And we knew that she was just going through a breakup. Teenage breakups suck. They suck hard. And I was like, oh, nice. She was a senior in high school. And then one day when I went home, my mother went on immediately, do you know who died? And I just thought that it would be like, a celebrity or something like that. And I was like, no, who died? And when I figured that it was my teacher's daughter, I felt crushed because seemingly nobody was listening enough. She was only a year older than me. We had mutual friends. I know her mom. And the worst part is everybody believed that she was doing better. This is why smiling committers are so overlooked. I mean, I get it. We have to believe, we have to hope that people would get better, but it's not that easy. And let's talk about known people as well. The thing that I would never understand, how we could let Chester Bennington go. So when they were like huge, I was not like a great fan of them. I have to admit that. I grew to like them around 2016, 17 maybe. So not much before the tragedy happened. And I listened to the songs again, like, much more carefully. And I was like, okay, how didn't people know? And then I watched a bunch of interviews with him and he talked about it so much. Those were cries for help. if the lyrics were not enough, those interviews were cries for help. And there is this one specific interview, and it's burned into my head, when he literally talks about how this school of his is a very bad neighborhood, and how there is a dark Chester living inside there who wants him to do very bad things. And the interviewers were just laughing, and he was not taken seriously. And I get it. He smiled a lot, he laughed a lot, but there is that point when it's easier to smile. So people believe that you are okay, because not even I don't want people to worry about me. Maybe it was my raising, and I'm not blaming anyone, and I'm not blaming my parents. I love my family. When I was a teen, this whole depression thing went so far that I learned how to switch my emotions off. Everybody said that they never knew how I felt because I had this poker face. They never knew what I meant, what I thought, what I felt. But the truth is that I didn't feel anything. I was just existing. I am not sure, because thanks to depression, I only have seriously very few memories. But I think it lasted about a year. And right now, I really, really wish I could do that. But I can't. I'm vulnerable because I realized that I'm in love with someone still. If you're new to the channel, you might need to watch a couple more videos, because you will have no idea what I'm going to talk about. The reason why I did not want to bring this up is that, first of all, I said I would never, ever talk about that situation, about Becky and Ashley and me. But today, I'm pretty sure I did see Ashley. And I think last time I said that life goes on and I need to let her go. But no matter how hard I try, no matter how hard I'm fighting against it, the feeling is there for some reason. And it's so stupid, because in my mind, I made up, I don't know, 1,000 scenarios of we would talk again, we would bump into each other, that I would see her somewhere, that she would ping me, and we could clear things up. And today I froze. I froze and I just ran away, like literally. If you watch the previous videos, there's this one thing I didn't talk about because, well, I said I would not talk about this ever again. So after everything that happened, I think about 2 weeks after Becky and I decided not to talk anymore, I just wrote her dead, because I just wanted to make sure that she was okay. And he said that I should go over that Saturday and, we could talk a bit, but that really has to be the last time. I hesitated a lot about it, and I knew that Becky would never apologize. She said so. She said that she would never apologize for what she's done. And I decided to go, and she said a bunch of things, and she told me that she went and cleared things up with Ashley. She told her that she was the one who sent the message and she was the one who blocked her from my account. But she said she would never apologize to me. But she did apologize to Ashley. And Ashley said that it didn't matter because there was no spark at all, and that we are on completely different pages and there's nothing common that we could share. I was not expecting this because, yes, I am going to admit that I tend to try to stick to people way longer than I'm supposed to. But I felt like Ashley and I could have been a power couple. And yeah, I made mistakes and I'm not going to tell the whole story again, but I just could not believe it. So when I saw her today, I immediately felt like I would either cry or have a panic attack. I can't do that in public. Even though the made up scenarios, there was this one thought that the woman I'm in love with hates me. And I had to just run. I might need to take a break from everything. And yes, maybe you would still see me on stream and in videos. I just realized that I have tried to cover myself in work and in other projects just to try to feel less. And it's not working. I'm feeling every feelings and I'm not happy. That's one thing I'm sure of. And if you're watching this video and you feel like, shit, I can relate to this, like not to the whole story, but if you're feeling down, helpless, depressed, unheard, I'm not sure if this video helps you, to be completely honest. This time I just wanted to vent a little bit, but if that helps, I want you to know, no matter how cliche it sounds, but you're not alone. And if it helps, feel free to ping me either on Instagram or on Discord, because who am I to judge? If you feel like talking about your pain a little bit would help, feel free. I have everything in the description, but I think it's way more than enough of my rambles. So if you like this video or you can relate to this, feel free to give it a good old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. It costs you nothing. It means a lot to me, and I hope to see you in the next, hopefully happier video. Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.